Today we're going to be covering the overall feature set for BigCommerce, and we're going to walk you through how to set it up in BigCommerce and in M.O.M. Show you a sample how to set up the product, and then we'll give you a live demo on the daily use of the BigCommerce. And then once we're complete with that, we're going to have a Q&A to make sure that we address any questions or any clarifications you guys might need regarding the feature set that we're offering in regards to BigCommerce. Commerce via M.O.M, similar to how we do with Amazon, Magento, Shopify as well. We're actually now leveraging the BigCommerce latest API. With this new integration, it allowed us to actually now to have a feature where a lot of you guys are used to, where it allows you to authorize on an e-commerce cart and then capture in M.O.M. It's also going to allow you to do the refund transaction in M.O.M directly. And it does support tokenization. We'll get to that a little bit later. We also have a way to acknowledge the orders. Now, this is really big for improvement compared to the previous integration we had, because it really enhances the performance. Basically, what happens is when you download orders, you can acknowledge and change the status on the BigCommerce side, so that way when we do another download batch, it will skip that anything that has been updated, so that way we're only downloading what hasn't been brought into our system yet. Really improves the performance on the M.O.M side. We are going to be able to publish product and update product information via directly in M.O.M with BigCommerce, so that's really big. So you're going to have similar functionality that you guys are used to, where you can set up everything in M.O.M and publish it to BigCommerce. We have pretty much copied what BigCommerce has on the product in terms of what they have available, so we're pretty flexible as far as what we can support with the product. And again, we'll go in the Parag will show that later on. We are going to be able to sync inventory to make sure that inventory levels are accurate. And lastly, we could definitely sync shipment information. So once the orders are fulfilled in the M.O.M system, we'll be able to send that back to BigCommerce and complete that order and pass along the shipping information as well. We're going to be covering configuration. So when you initially set it up, we're going to need you guys go to BigCommerce. So within BigCommerce admin settings, there's going to be an API section along with a shipping and payment section that we'll walk you through in a little bit, where you can capture all this information that's needed in order to set up the M.O.M system. So you go to BigCommerce first, and once you've gathered all the information, you'll go back into M.O.M and fill in the configuration side of M.O.M. So there's general information, orders, product and inventory, and then there's the mapping, so that making sure that whatever shipping method, payment method, card types that you map on the BigCommerce side will be translated properly when importing orders to our system. And then we'll go into the product setup. Parag, why don't you go ahead and just walk us through that on the BigCommerce side and then on the M.O.M side and setting these
BigCommerce admin settings, the configuration. So you first log into your BigCommerce admin site, log in, and then you would go under settings. Then you would go under API, which is towards the end, and you would go under store level API accounts. Now, for me, there are already 2 accounts created, but for you, if you haven't set this up, this will be blank, and you would go ahead and click on Create API Account. Now here, you will put in the name. Everything else is populated, and there is the OAuth scopes. We will give you a document which will tell you exactly what to enable for each section. And so our interface has been designed with those content allowed or not allowed in mind. So once you have set that up for every section, you'll come towards the end and you will hit the save button. Upon hitting the save button, there will be a file which you can it will be downloaded, giving you all this information where you have your access token, client name, client ID, client secret, the name, the path. All this will be given to you. So you need to keep that handy when we come back to M.O.M and set this up. Anything you want to add here, Ian?
Yeah, just to highlight, guys, again, we're going to be providing documentations on which permissions and scopes that you would need to make sure that our integration works properly. That's pretty much it, Parag. Why don't you go ahead and cover the shipping and payment side of this?
Absolutely. So now for as per the configuration, now the next one would be shipping. So we'll be going to the settings section, and there'll be a section for shipping. You click on that. Um, so there are many options here, but for this demo and webinar purposes, I will be going under default shipping rules. So I will click on edit. So there are few of them which are already preset. There is a shipping, free shipping, flat rate, ship by weight, and pick up in store. What is important here for us to map this shipping method with M.O.M would be the description. So basically, we need to make sure that we are copying the exact description of each shipping method, and we can put it in a notepad so that we can use it when we are setting up our M.O.M shipping method to this shipping method. So when the order comes down, it will align properly to that shipping method from BigCommerce to M.O.M. Then the next section we can go to is payments. So under payments, basically there are a lot of options that are given here. So I'm not sure if people are still using check payments, but if so, then what is important here is to make sure that you copy the display name. So the display name is check. So just like the shipping method, we will use that display name to map our shipping method, that is the M.O.M shipping method, with the BigCommerce shipping method. Same thing here, money order, and then of course authorized.net. So here authorized.net, we will have to make sure that we are copying the display name, and we will use this to map our payment method, that is the credit card payment method, with authorized.net. The information to be entered is pretty straightforward. The API login ID, if you are with authorized.net, we know exactly what it is. It is also available in our M.O.M side. Transaction key, once you put that information in, you have your transaction type you can set up. You can set up the test mode, require CVC, and then you will most importantly enable the credit card here. So that is done. Then you will come down to enable stored credit cards with authorized.net and the require CVC when using stored credit cards. Ian, do you want to add anything in this section?
Yes, it's important to understand, guys, with this option here, it's really on BigCommerce. So like I mentioned earlier, we do support tokenization. With this enabled, basically this will put an option during checkout for your customers. So if they decide to opt in to save their credit card, it will provide us the full token information to be brought into M.O.M system. And what that means is that, like earlier, you're going to be able to authorize and capture in M.O.M. You're going to be able to refund. But in addition to that, you'll be able to reuse that card information for future purchases for that particular customer, because we have the full token information. However, if they decide not to opt in to store their credit card upon checkout, what will happen is we're going to be using what they call a one-time use token. You still have the ability to authorize on the website and capture in M.O.M and also do the refund. However, it's a one-time use, so you won't be able to reuse that card information in the M.O.M system again. So if there is a future order for that customer, you will need to capture the card information again, or they can order directly on the website. So I want to make sure that that's a distinction that's important to understand, because that is a key thing regarding how we support this integration.
Now, since we have gathered all the information that we need to be entered into M.O.M, we will go directly to M.O.M. So once we arrive in M.O.M, we will go under options, e-commerce management, define e-commerce settings, and then here we will go under BigCommerce. And here is the display name and the API account name. It is more of a description. that you will enter, whatever you have. Uh, Mom store code. Now here, if you are using multiple BigCommerce stores, then make sure that you would go under the maintain store settings, and you would add the like additional store codes that you have. And then for each store code, there will be a setting that you will have to do. So for me, I just created one store, and this is the store of the name of my store. And then the information that you would enter to connect to BigCommerce would be under API, Freestyle API information. Again, same thing here. You have your display name. The API account name will be appeared here. Now, as we had copied all that information, or we have were provided, so all that access token, API path, all that information will be available here, which you can then enter into the M.O.M system by clicking on this I button. So here you will just copy paste that information. Upon entering all the required information, and all of these are required, you hit the save button, and then you can just hit test connection, and it will directly connect to the store. And once that store is the connection is established, it will say the following message: the success access token is valid, and that will be it for the setting up of the BigCommerce, talking to BigCommerce and M.O.M. And then we will go under each section. Before I proceed from the screen, Ian, do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, just note the bottom section of the screen, the different tasks that is available for BigCommerce. There is a yes next to process in batch. So we'll see this in a little bit when Parag demos it, but when we actually go to the Ecom Manager station where you can actually download the orders, you're going to be able to say if you want to make that part of the batch process or not. So here you can actually edit to include it or not include it during the batch process of the processing of BigCommerce orders or syncing inventory. So I just want to point that out. So that way, when you guys are doing the daily use, you can, this is part of the design of it. And typically, the setup is you want to download in intervals, every hour, every 30 minutes, however, and also acknowledge. But typically, you should do shipments at the end of the day or middle of the day if you do two shipments during the day. But you typically don't want to include that in batch. So again, it's just an example, but this particular area allows you to design that depending on how your workflow is on your side. Go ahead, Parag.
Thank you. So we would go and look under the orders section. Now, under the orders section, these are the two filters that we have preset or pre-selected. That these are the by default, when you place an order in BigCommerce, they are under one of these order statuses, like awaiting payment or awaiting fulfillment. So you can add additional filters based on if you have created those in your the paths that you have created in the BigCommerce. You can add those in, and when downloading, M.O.M will look at those order statuses and it will download those orders. Now you can also choose to download the orders by an ID range and order date range if you choose so. Then we are coming down to download order defaults. Now the three, wherever the asterisk is, that is the most important place where you don't leave that blank. You have to put in something. So the first one being product for item on the fly. Now, what does that mean? Is that if you happen to have a product that exists in BigCommerce, and you have forgotten to map it within the M.O.M system, that becomes an orphan product. So that when it downloads, then M.O.M does not know where to connect. So you want to give it an on-the-fly product, so you can then visit that on-the-fly product and say, oh, okay, this one was supposed to be this. So you can then change that part. Then then you have your shipping method, same thing. So say you have created multiple shipping methods, uh, and then you have forgotten to map one of the shipping methods, and then order is coming down, and M.O.M does not know which one it has to map it to. then it will pick a default shipping method. The next one is the payment method. We already saw the three payment methods before, but you happen to have one more shipping payment method which is not mapped within M.O.M. You want to tell M.O.M which one it should default to, so that when the order gets downloaded, it does not, create an error or error state in that order. The next one is the order level discount line item. So it is important to set up. In my case, I have set up an item called discount. So you go in your stock maintenance, you create a line item with a SKU name of anything you want to call it. In my case, I call the discount. Make sure it has a lot of inventory, and you can make it a service item so that anytime when the discounts come in on the order level, it will automatically flag it to that, so you can then the orders are shown correctly in the BigCommerce and also in M.O.M, vice versa. Then the next information is pretty much straightforward, and it is not required. Sales default sales ID, a default order type, default order priority, source key. Now, another section is the order status. So when you upload your orders to BigCommerce, you can call it exactly what you want to be the status to be connected with. Ian, you want to add anything here?
Yes, we have the different filters there, guys. So just in case you want to specifically target a group of orders that you want to bring in, or a different particular status, so we have that flexibility added there. Like Parag said, there's default settings here, so that way when you bring in orders from BigCommerce, you can easily identify which orders they are. Specifically, if you have multi-store with a BigCommerce, you can have different order types to identify which store it came from. And like Parag says, we do have this option for auto acknowledge here, so that way during the download process, it also sends the acknowledgement back to BigCommerce. Again, if you do that, there's a performance enhancement that way next time we do downloads, they're not going to pull the same information and parse through it. We do have another setting in M.O.M where if we do pull the same info, it will try to see if it's a duplicate, but it does have extra time and resource that it takes to kind of identify the duplicates. We'll have an exception report that's been imported already, but if you do the auto acknowledgement, that minimizes that scenario, which enhances the performance altogether. Go ahead, Parag.
Thanks, Ian. The next part is products. So we will take a dive into the product itself, but this is like a global setup. So here there will be options given to you if you want to publish the products, but in only a certain filters that you want to apply to. You can apply those filters and only publish those kind of products to BigCommerce. And then you can choose to upload text settings for title and descriptions. Now, the reason we kept it away from that is so that if you have put in a lot of time creating your descriptions and titles in BigCommerce, you don't want to overwrite them with your M.O.M. But if you do, you check the box. If you don't, you will uncheck the box. Ian?
Yeah, just to add here, guys, there is the category here. So typically there's a catch-all category. So that way it doesn't automatically publish everything and make it visible to your site. So typically you're going to pick a category that will publish to, and then you can move it to the proper department as needed on the BigCommerce side. Also, we want to point out that these are on the drop down here for show with the filters. It can default to all the products that are active, right? So active channel products means everything that's active in BigCommerce will be synchronized. And nice thing about that is that we do have a published record. So what we do is we check that published record versus if that product has been updated. And what that means is that if that product has been updated after it's been published, we'll send that update back and then the next publish. So that way we're not sending the full data every single time. We're only updating the changes to the product. However, if you want to do a full publish anyway, you can disregard that logic by checking off the strict filter right above here to make sure you can ignore the modified date. So lot of flexibility here. Again, probably if you just go to custom filter, it's going to show this. You could do custom filter based on any field in the stock information. So if you want to target a group of stock items via classification code or via a starting SKU number, you can target that and just publish that data set if you'd like. So it's very handy when you're testing or if you're publishing a specific group products to your site. Go ahead, Parag.
All right. Thanks, Ian. Same with inventory, just like what Ian just mentioned. You can choose to use strict filters and you can choose one of the options here. You leave it alone and it will do exactly what Ian said. Anything which has been updated will get published. But if you want to publish everything again, like a full publish, regardless of the update, you can choose the strict filter and you can check the items, like say you want all the channel products which are active, and you can check that box. So it will just publish everything that is available. Here, anything, Ian, you want to add?
No, I think that's it. I think we move on to the mapping side.
Yeah. All right. So mapping, as we saw previously when we went into BigCommerce, we had the descriptions or the names of the shipping method. So you basically go in and you click on add, and then you pick one of the shipping methods that you have, and so you can choose one of the shipping methods from here, and then you can map to the description what you want. So basically, the description is coming from the BigCommerce side, so it will exactly look for that description and then will map it to the shipping method that we have here. So in my case, I have mapped the pickup store to ACP, PM to the free shipping, PP to the flat rate, and the UPR to buy the ship weight. So that is what I have done for my side. So any shipping that you choose in your checkout, it will map it to a shipping method in M.O.M. But we have the ultimate catch-all, where if you happen to have a shipping method that somebody just have created it but forgot to map it in M.O.M, it will always pick the default shipping method. The payment methods. So basically, what we had talked about, our credit card payment method, and then the title is exactly what we needed. So we go under our settings, we go under our payments, we go under authorized.net settings, and we copy the display name, and then we come here, we add the same title and the same description, we hit save. I had set up this before, but that will be it. Then check is for check, cash is for cash on delivery. Once you add that in, that will take care of your shipping methods and anything else that you have made available for BigCommerce on your checkout. But I don't see anything other than credit card people set up. Then you have your other section, that is the card types. And card types, we have actually given out exactly what you need to do. So that means your card code within the M.O.M system, when you click on add, it comes up with all the card codes that you have. And then you need to enter exactly how it appears here. The title needs to be following American_Express is equal to American Express. So you will make sure that you will enter the information exactly what it is shown here for each of your credit cards. Ian, do you want to add anything for the mapping section?
Yeah, just for the credit card type, guys. We did this because by default this is the default, so we assume this should be the right thing. But sometimes possibly there could be a different set of credit cards there, that different card types. So we wanted to kind of provide some insights here on what it should be. But always double check on the BigCommerce site, so it'll tell you what the card type is. But from what we've seen, it's been this. But we just wanted to have the flexibility here, so that's why we added a mapping for it.
All right. Thank you, Ian.
Go to the
Now we will go to product setup. We hit the save button.
just change the filter or just cancel out of here. It's fine.
Yeah, this is going to keep it blank.
You
Okay.
have to change the custom field. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. You can't leave it blank. The intelligence is added over there. All right. So you go to um, a product setup. In this case, I will just pick a size and color item. So I have this size and color item, and I have mapped this to the BigCommerce. So for adding anything to BigCommerce within your M.O.M system, you open up that stock item, you go to the e-com setup, you go to BigCommerce, you check the box, you choose the store that it is connected to, and then usually it auto fills in the some of the information, but the SKU mapping is left to, it is usually blank. It is usually populated with whatever we think that it is from the stock maintenance, but you can customize it to put exactly what is on the other side. That is exactly how it appears in BigCommerce. So if you go under your BigCommerce, you go under the SKU, it'll tell you what the SKU name is. You need to take that and map it to map that here. You put that information. Now, pricing, sales price, cost, all this information, as you see on the screen, we have made it a little bit seamless so that what you see on the BigCommerce side is what you see here. And so you will just populate that information from here, and you can send it to BigCommerce. So that you can do it. That is your control of information that you want to put in. Then the other section is description. So you can, usually it copies the information from whatever is given. But if you want to put all your other information, you want to create an HTML kind of a description, you can do that as well. Now, as this is a size and color variation item, so we have the variation of that product itself. Ian, do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, for the go back to variation there. You can see here, guys, we support up to 3 different attribute sets. So you could publish 2 different things. So this would pretty much create a parent-child relationship on the BigCommerce side. That's it.
All right. So close here. That completes this slide. We'll go to the next one.
Daily use and how you use this on the M.O.M side. So again, we highlighted that the 2 things that we do: we download orders, we acknowledge orders. Again, go over the highlights. We're going to be able to authorize and capture in M.O.M, refund transaction, tokenization support. We support all types of discounts from BigCommerce, and we also, again, we're leveraging the API. So we're going to be able to see that in just a minute with Parag. We're also doing acknowledgement. We saw the auto acknowledgement setting that you can auto acknowledge. Again, it's really helpful for performance and visibility of status on the BigCommerce side. So really cool feature set here for the direct integration. So Parag, why don't you go ahead and present this on the M.O.M side, see what this looks like.
I already created an order in the BigCommerce side, and then I'm just going to go to the shopping cart button. This is the shortcut for coming to the process, and you can choose the BigCommerce. You can choose the store. So if you have multiple stores, they will be all listed here. So you can pick and choose what a store you want to download the order for. Once you highlight, I'm just going to process one. So it found that one order and popped up that this is the order that it is going to download. It successfully processed one and skipped one. That's one it is. So that is done. You close. And as you see on this side, it is an item with units of 3, and it is downloaded it. You will see that my order here, it's ready to pack. It is pending capture. So once you ship it, you can capture it within the M.O.M system. And if you want to do any refunds, of course, after 24 hours, you can refund the order. You can do it that way also. So I'm going to process this order. So I have my label. Then I'm going to finish by all right. So I have my order is shipped, and there is a tracking number for that. And now I'm going to upload. Since I have already done the auto acknowledgement, so I'm not going to do this. But if you have a separate process of doing it, then after you download orders, you need to make sure that immediately you run the order acknowledgement. As Ian mentioned, that there is a performance hit, because then it will go ahead and re-download all the orders, strip out all the orders that are already downloaded, and then bring in the whatever is the remaining amount is. So there will be a performance hit on your side. So you make sure that you either have the auto acknowledgement turned on, or you have that as a muscle memory for you, that once you download orders, you are also uploading the order acknowledgement. So once that is done, you can upload the order shipments. I will do that. So it has uploaded my order. And if I go under the section, if I just refresh, so that order that I just processed, it is shipped. You can see that information here. That's all it is. And the tracking number is also up here. You can click on UPS parcel select, and you can track your package. You can do it that way. So that is like a complete or cycle of the order. Now, of course, importantly, you want to publish the inventory. So you choose that, and you process 1 for your inventory. So it was because there was only one item which was processed. So I will click on OK, and I close. I think I have that is authentication issue. So that the product that we uploaded, let me see if that is SM13. So SM13, the inventory is at 70. So we can go under SM13. And then under the inventory, what we saw 70, it is 70 here as well. So it updated the inventory as well. So typically that would be an life cycle of an order, where you have downloading an order, uploading the acknowledgement, processing the order, uploading the shipment, processing the inventory. So now all that comes together for the life cycle of the order. Ian, do you want to add anything here?
No, I think you also covered the next slide. So if we just go over to these slides, we can just quickly go over that, and then we can go to questions. So Parag covered the orders and acknowledgement, and we covered the publishing of products, syncing your inventory, and you saw the results set when we did the synchronized shipments. Um, so that's the integration we're offering with BigCommerce. Excited to offer this to you guys. Again, really nice, seamless workflow having this within the M.O.M system, similar to what you guys have realized with if you guys are using Amazon already or Magento with us. So really, same framework, making it easy. So everything's going to be in M.O.M and makes it easy for us to support as well. So with that said, that is the demo part of it. So we're going to end this at this part, and we're going to go on to the question side. There has been a lot of questions coming in. So give us a minute to kind of look at some of the questions. And if you have questions, please go ahead and use the question panel that you have there and ask your questions so we can address that. We'll try to make sure that we address all the questions that we see. And if not, we'll follow up with you guys. So one of the questions here is, does refund work with one-time use tokens? The answer is yes. So if you do have a one-time use token, when that brings into our system, the transaction ID, it is brought in along with the approval information. So what we do is we use those information to do the capture and also do the refund when needed.
Yeah, there's a question that came in early on. Would this integration work with the BigCommerce B2B edition?
I'm not familiar with the B2B edition, but if it's using the same API, then it should. But that's something we can look into further.
There's another question. How could I delete a store from merchant settings, from the merchant settings?
Can you repeat that question, James?
There's a question from Dave. How can I delete a store from the merchant settings?
Delete. I think that has to go through the support team to handle that particular request. I think if you have multiple stores there, why not be able to delete that? So I think you need to work with support. There's a table called feed mir that needs to be accessed and those records to be removed. So there's a question regarding product data. Just want to clarify, we are not pulling product data from BigCommerce. We are pushing product data to BigCommerce. The only thing we're updating BigCommerce on, BigCommerce that we get from BigCommerce is some IDs when we do the parent-child relationship. We grab that, but other than that, it's a one-way communication, M.O.M to BigCommerce. There's a question about publishing products regarding discontinued. Can you use the filters? The answer is yes. Within those custom filters, we said you could actually have a filter like products that are not discontinued is what's published. So you could set that filter like that, and that will publish products that are not discontinued. So there's also a question regarding the variation. So what we showed you guys is we can support up to 3 variations, meaning that there's 3 attributes that we can support. It could be a size, a color, and a style per se. But then within those, you can have as much SKU numbers underneath them with different combinations, because there might be a small black t-shirt, a cotton small black t-shirt, and there could be a green one of that, a blue one, a yellow one. There could be a large one or a medium one. So you can have as much of that, but we only currently support 3 attributes of that. Yes, there's a question about the webinar being shared. There is going to be a recording that's going to be shared. Typically, it gets sent out 24 hours from that presentation. So probably we end this presentation around 4. So look for that email to go out around 4 o'clock tomorrow. So you'll be able to see and rewatch this and share it with anybody on your side that might have missed this. There's a question: what version of M.O.M will this work with? Um, so this will work with M.O.M 12. This is specifically a new module for M.O.M 12, and if this is supported on our hosting side as well. If you want to be hosted by us, we can also support this as a hosted M.O.M. There are questions about if you are using Shipper HQ or any other shipping module that's on the BigCommerce side. What you're going to do is once you set it up, there should be a display name on that side that you can map. So that Parag showed how to map it. So it's important to take note of the display name for the service levels that you might be trying to map on our side. Like, and we use the default one, but again, those Shipper HQ will have some, particular service or description of each of the service level that they're offering. So you just have to map that to the M.O.M side. James or Ross, is there any other questions that you guys see that needs to be brought up? I think some of the questions I answered you guys directly on chat. I'm logged in as Jim Cahill for a moment, but that's me answering you guys.
Yeah, just looking at the ones that remain open, especially some of the earlier ones. One is product data can be pulled from Big Seat or M.O.M. Can it be both? Meaning certain fields pulled.
Go ahead. I addressed that one, James. I just answered. Yeah, so there's a question about if you publish products, title, and description, can that be left out of the import? Yeah, you could just, there's a setting there to either update it or not. And then if you decide to update it, you can still overwrite it on BigCommerce. So you do have that flexibility. There's a question about when do you set up the daily use. So we're still completing that, just finalizing that once we have that done. So we'll share that with our support team. So once we have that created, guys, we'll be sharing that with the support team, and they can hand that out to anybody that requires that. So there's a question regarding, can we import orders without charging and saving as a quote? Depending on the pay method that you map. So you could map a pay method that's an invoice or terms and bring it down to our system. And that way it's going to be an open, not paid. And then you can pay it later on.
Hey, Ian.
Yeah.
The latest question, is there a way to add other product options other than just size and color?
Yeah, right now we only support 3 attribute sets. So that would be the 3 that we support. But if that's a demand that's growing, there's definitely API calls to do that. Right now we thought 3 would be sufficient, but we could definitely alter that to accommodate if there's more. Because there's size, there's color, there's style, might be some sizing, depending on what you want to do. But we could definitely add more. Right now we're only supporting 3. But again, if there's demand for it, we could make that. And if it's something that's unique to you guys, then that's something we can customize as well. Next step is to contact our sales team at sales@freestyleSolutions.com and get back to you with quotes depending on where you are. Again, this is a module that can be purchased, and this will require M.O.M version 12. Any other questions, guys? I think we covered most of the questions here. And yeah, I see this came in. Dave, once we have the documentation ready, Dave, we'll share that with you right away. Should be less than a week to do that, so that way your team can plan and schedule. And I think that's it, guys. Any last minute questions, comments? Oh, there's one that came in. The special pricing update on BC. Currently, right now, we don't currently update the special pricing in BC. We are looking to, there's a couple clients that are asking for that, John. We're looking to customize it by putting it into one of the three fields. There's a retail, I think there's a sales price field that we can update that to. But if you actually want to update the pricing, um, add a make a price pricing, we haven't really looked into that. But that, if that's the requirement, we can look into that further. Yeah, the price. I mean, there's special pricing and regular pricing. So the price itself will be published as part of the product updates. But special pricing, that would be a little bit different. So that needs a little bit more research on our side to see if we could publish that. Again, BigCommerce has different rules and many different ways to give discounts that might not necessarily align with how we actually set up in M.O.M. So that's when I initially looked at that, that was the kind of the challenge I had. But we'll revisit that again. So there's a question: can a customer place an order in BigCommerce without having a shipping amount? It can, but it will be the total will be a little off. So it would have to be adjusted, and you would have to contact that customer afterwards once the payment. Because again, I don't know if you can authorize. There is an option in BigCommerce to authorize or not authorize on site. So depending on which option that would be, you can bring that in. But if you authorize, just take note that it's only authorized for a certain amount, and you're going to be able to only capture that amount on the M.O.M side. So you probably have to have that setting on the payment side set to not authorized, so you can bring in the full amount and then charge it afterwards if there is a change for shipping. Will price with tax and shipping import into M.O.M joins BigCommerce? Yes. So when we import the price and tax, we actually take note of that, what's coming in from BigCommerce. We have seen some challenges there because BigCommerce has a weird way of calculating taxes. They do it on the item level one at a time and then total it off. But there are going to be cases where it's going to be penny off. But yes, we do bring it in, and what we do is we have a field in our import that allows you to freeze the taxes and shipping. So it will respect that. But when it comes to discount, we work through the best we can. That's why we have a line item discount, because sometimes the percentage are off. We calculate it as a dollar amount to make it close as possible to the discount amount. Again, it's just the way BigCommerce does it is not aligning on how it should be done. Will this work with Avalara integration? Yes. If you integrate directly from BigCommerce to Avalara, you could do that. Let them calculate the tax. We'll bring in the tax information into M.O.M, and once you process into M.O.M, you can use our Avalara module to upload the invoices to Avalara. So that yes, Avalara integration will work. Can you explain how rounding issues will be corrected? Yeah, we're still looking into that. Again, the best solution we have right now is to use the line item discount to kind of get as close as possible, because the way they calculate the discounts on their side, even though it's an order level discount, they have a breakdown of it on per item level, which sometimes throws off the tax calculation or the amount for the discount itself. So that's a work in progress there. Does taxes show up in M.O.M or in BC? Can we control what states? Yeah, so the Avalara, if you're using Avalara, you define which nexuses you have, and that can be set up on the BigCommerce side. So that way, depending on where they're shipping to on the BigCommerce side, the tax calculation itself will happen on that side. So if you're shipping to New Jersey, you'd be calculated for a 6.625 as a tax rate, and that will be respected coming into M.O.M. Once the order is processed in M.O.M, M.O.M has the capability to send the invoice back to Avalara. So it'll start in BigCommerce and then flow back into M.O.M and then back to Avalara from M.O.M. Yeah, so do you support partial captures? So if it comes in as pending capture on our side and you make a change where it's less than, so then yeah, it will capture that partially. But it will have an impact depending on how the order was placed on BigCommerce. Like I said, if it's a one-time use, we have a one-time use token. So once you do that partial capture, and then you have to capture the next time, you won't be able to do that because it's a one-time use token. However, if you do have a token that's passed to us because the client opted in to save the credit card, then the partial capture will be fully supported, meaning that you can do partial capture, and then when the next item comes in or you have to charge another amount, you'll be able to do that within the M.O.M system. Newest question here: can you upload quotes in M.O.M to BigCommerce directly? No. Well, again, we're one way, so we download orders from BigCommerce. We don't upload the orders back, except for the shipping info once it's fully fulfilled in the M.O.M side. I think that was the last one. James or Ross, did I miss anything?
I think you covered most of them.
All right, cool.
One just came up from Sean. Does M.O.M tokenization have to be completed before BigCommerce module is used?
Yeah, it should be. That way, we only support the tokenization side of it, because, again, on the BigCommerce side, for PCI reasons, they're not going to be able to send full card numbers to us. And if they can't do that, then you won't be able to authorize or capture it in M.O.M, right? Because we're not going to have that information. So it is recommended that you are going to be full tokenized first in M.O.M before going to, if you're going to connect to this particular module, if you're going to use, the tokenization side of it.
And one of them that Kevin asked earlier, can you explain the attributes again?
Yeah, so the attributes are like size, color. So like within BigCommerce, they have a parent-child relationship. So there's a parent item that can have, let's say, example, a T-shirt, and that T-shirt can come in different colors, different sizes, and different materials. So in our example, we support up to 3 attributes. In that case, that would be the colors, the different sizes, and the different materials that may come in. If you have more than that, again, that's something we can look into. But I thought initially we start with 3 attributes to support. But if you guys need more, we can touch base. You can reach out to me and then see how much you guys would need. And we can add that as needed via customization, because right now we currently only support 3 of those. Will we have to do 2 captures? How would that work? Kevin, can you elaborate on the last question? Is that in relation to a previous question? You're asking, will we have to do 2 captures? How will that work? Yeah, if you can elaborate on that, so I could better understand that question. And take this as the last question. Once Kevin finishes this question, I think that we do not calculate freight, only product charges. So Kevin, on the payment side on BigCommerce, there's a way to not authorize it on the website. Because again, there's 2 ways you can make this work. If for these cases, you have to make sure that your clients opt in to store the credit card. If they do, then you should be okay. Then you can do 2 captures, like you're saying. But if they won't opt in for it, what you're going to have to do is you can't authorize on a website, because then you have to have the full amount. Actually, it still doesn't work that way, because then even if you don't opt in, it's a one-time use. I guess, yeah, if it's a one-time use, there's no amount yet because it's not authorized. So you can make your changes if it's a shipping change, whatever. Then you should be able to capture the whole amount in one shot. But then that's one shipment. I'm assuming you ship it once. So if it's like multiple shipments, it's not really going to work. And with that, that brings us to 4:03, a little over there, guys. But that should end our webinar. Again, thanks for joining us. There's a lot of questions here, so if we missed it, let us know. But it's ian.o@freestyleSolutions.com. So if you have any questions regarding the product side of this, please reach out and let me know. Glad to help out and answer any of those questions. Again, thank you for joining us. James, any closing remark on your side?
No, thank you everyone for all the questions. Hopefully you got additional insight on how this integration works. But if there's any feedback, feel free to send it our way. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a nice day.